Okay, I would like to call the Site Plan Review Committee to order for Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. Roll call, please.
Mary Kudowski,
Here.
Dennis Persick.
Here.
Chris Atkinson,
Here.
Gary Paul,
Here.
and excused are Quinn Karowski and Pamperin.
Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
To
of the United States
the
of America,
States of America and
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
with
justice for all.
justice.
Thank you, and please remember all our men and women throughout the world in uniform. I have no changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve, please.
So move. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Action on the site plan review minutes from the regular meeting, February 1, 2022.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, review plans for the following locations. 6A, action regarding requested amended site plan review for Alden Station Townhomes, 430-494 Alden Circle, parcels VA-1558 through VA-1573. Aaron.
All right, I'll just bring this up on screen here. This is a relatively simple amendment to the approved site plan review for the Alden Station Townhomes. As you can see on the screen with the site map, initially the proposed townhomes were to be offset a little bit. It's been found that basically keeping them at the same distance or same setback will work out better for the construction. And also, in terms of the buildings themselves, there will be a pitched roof behind the front of the buildings now instead of a flat roof. It's my understanding there were some issues with getting trusses for the flat roofs, and this just being a simpler construction methodology while still getting quality development. Those are the two primary changes to the approved site plan. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I don't have any conditions of approval for this, but if any questions for Ryan Redu, he's in the audience as well.
Does anybody have any
Aaron.
questions? Okay, Gary.
Aaron, I think this is an improvement on the roof lines. I kind of like that a little better than a flat roof. It gives it a little more design to it. I kind of like it with the setbacks, but if this is better for them, I guess I don't have a problem with it. Other than those two things, the conditions we did approve still remain in effect other than these two big changes.
Right, it'd be still what's in effect in our development agreement.
Okay, all right. I have no other questions.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as presented. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, 6B, action regarding requested site plan review for 2600 South Ashland Avenue, parcel VA-160-4. Aaron.
Okay, this is a rehabilitation, reskinning of the existing building at the corner of Industry Court and South Ashland Avenue. It currently has a number of individual tenants in there. It's kind of a chopped up building. The developers are proposing to do a pretty big interior renovation to divide it up into two tenants for proposed wholesale distributors for the property. As you can see on the site plan, there's a proposed to remove an old addition onto the building that's right here, and then add a roughly 5,000 square foot addition out the back. There are two tin buildings, metal buildings, sheds that are there right now. Those will be demoed, and a new parking lot with curbing put in place right here. In terms of the building itself, the elevations, as you can see here, proposing to add some masonry to the building, add some windows, really improve the overall look of the building, bring it up into the current days, I guess, for lack of a better term. One item to mention, go back to the site plan, is there's a future fence that'll be located right here. At this time, they're not going to install it, but it will be put in place in the future. One item for the wholesale businesses to use this property, the property will need to be rezoned to I-1 light industry, which is on the agenda for the Plan Commission this evening at 5:30, and then it'll be public hearing and village board on March 22nd. In terms of recommended conditions of approval for the site plan, we have a few. As I mentioned, property will need to be rezoned to I-1 light industry for wholesale use. Use of fully concealed fasteners for new metal panels on street-facing elevations. Screen any new or larger replacement rooftop or ground-mounted mechanical units visible from the property boundaries or public right-of-way. The catch-all meet all applicable requirements of the Ashwaubenon site plan review and other applicable village ordinances. From engineering, provide the size of the water lateral needed and contact Allen or Water Department for fee and schedule. From stormwater, also from engineering in terms of stormwater management, provide runoff drainage patterns and confirm drainage does not impact neighboring properties. No comments were received from public safety, forestry, or bike and ped. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, the developers are also in the audience.
Aaron, a couple questions.
Go ahead, Gary.
Okay. I don't know when I can respond or I can't, so correct me if I'm stepping on somebody or let me know when I can go. In the back of the building there, I noticed some loading docks. The question I have on the loading docks, when the tractor trailer comes in, do they have enough room there to come in the property, back into those docks? What I'm getting at, I don't want to see any of that happening on the street. We got enough of that on some old buildings right now, and we don't need any more of that. The front of the building, I think, looks nice to what the building really is. I think it's a great improvement. All the outbuildings that are out to the west of the property, those will be all gone, I'm understanding. That'll make that the only building on the property of what we're talking about right now.
That's correct. Well, Gary, what I'll do is I'll have the developers just come up front here to answer your question specifically, if that'd be okay.
That's good.
If you wouldn't mind
Could
just coming
you
up
state
here.
your name and address for the record, please?
Or would you
We
have,
also have Rick Fisher, who's the architect that could.
do you want Rick to answer them?
Some of that better than we.
Okay.
As far as the ingress egress.
All right. Rick, would you mind answering those questions if you could?
Oh, sure. This is Rick Fisher with Fisher and Associates Architects, W13654 Balsam Lake Road, Crivets, Wisconsin, 54114. So it's regarding the truck maneuvering space. We have indicated on the plan, that you probably can't see it because of the shading, but there is a full circle turnaround radius that should accommodate the trucks. We're working with my own associates for our grading and design. I would ask them to help us out to make sure our truck maneuvering clearances work, but that's from the standard templates that I use. There should be adequate space. That's why we have the large paved surface back there, was to be able to make the full truck maneuvering in that area. As far as the buildings in the back, right now we've got a planned addition with the parking lot in the back. We don't have a signed lease agreement from what I understand at this point. So, depending on the outcome or the final needs for that tenant, we'd be coming back with any revisions or anything that they may need. But our intent is to, improve the street facing sides of the building. So the north side that's currently, along the frontage road, where we had been planning some repair work, we're going to replace that entire side that's closest to the road and add masonry to that side. And then also increase the front parking lot so it's much more maneuverable by removing the other buildings and having double deep parking spaces as opposed to just a single loaded parking. So overall, I think there's some real nice improvements to the currently really tight site. So it should work out really nice.
Are you going to get rid of the curb cuts along the north side of the property?
Right now, we're going to be eliminating one of the overhead doors, maintaining the other two. The tenant is not going to use that portion of the building the way the current user does, where they're in and out of those doors. They're hoping to do some small material loading for their customers. They are adding 2 new loading docks in the back, so all the big truck traffic is all going to be in the back loading dock area rather than off the side of the building.
Okay.
But yeah, we're planning on maintaining that pavement on the north side. On the Highway 141 side, the east side, we're going to be removing the asphalt that's currently in the right of way.
Okay.
So currently it's paved right to the curb. So we're going to create or reestablish green space on the street side.
Well, there will be landscaping there and green space then.
Yeah, that's the terrace side. So it's it's in the public right of way. So I think there's being limited uses. I think there might be some power lines or something there too. But we're trying to get more green space, less paving, adding all new sidewalks in the front. So it'll really clean things up nicely.
Is that blighted sign on your project to get rid of?
It's I know there's a sign. I know we're replacing the sign itself. I'm not sure which sign we're referring to. I know is there a sign?
It would be on the south end of the property on the frontage road along the highway there.
No. Yeah, Gary, that sign is no longer there. Any other signs would be off the property.
Oh, it is gone. I looked at that for years, but it is gone. Okay, I'll leave that one as that. The only other comment I got on this here, you said there's going to be a fence along the edge of the property on the south side there around the building there. I want a date when that fence is going to be put up.
Well, at this time, we don't plan any outdoor storage. My intent for putting it on the plan was so that the village and the people on the board would know that was our intent, to know that, if we're going to do some outside storage and we want to put up a fence, that it would be allowed. At this point, we don't plan to have any outdoor storage, and we don't plan to put the fence up at this time.
I will not want to see any storage unless the fence is up then. The only other question I have then, is this a 2-tenant building or a 1-tenant building?
This is actually, it's 2 tenants, Gary.
It is too. Okay. And how many of these tenants have signed agreements with you?
That should be a question for Todd.
Todd just said no signed leases right now.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. That's all I have.
so Gary took the question right out of my mouth. There was a different project, Aaron, and this was a couple years ago, and there was no outdoor storage allowed. Does the current zoning allow outdoor storage and the new one also does, or?
So any outdoor storage in the I-1 light industry zone needs to be screened by opaque fencing. So
Okay.
if they were to have any outdoor storage, they would have to have that fence up first with, at a minimum, slats, if not some other type of fencing.
Okay,
That outdoor storage would be visible from Ashland Avenue if that would happen.
Right, I believe that's their intent is, if at some point in the future there's outdoor storage, that the opaque fencing would go up first to screen any of the outdoor storage.
Very good.
Point of clarification, just from my own information, when you say outdoor fencing, can you give me an idea of it'd be slatted fence, right? How
Correct.
high?
Typically, you see 8 foot.
Okay, because I think when we talk about Ashland Ave, the elevation of Ashland Ave is quite a bit higher than, right? So then that might be an issue if it's not high enough. That's my only concern.
It would generally be behind the building from Ashland Avenue, so that could be pretty tough to see.
Okay.
Okay. Could I,
Why don't you come up,
you would,
Todd?
you have to come up. State your name and address for the record, please.
Todd DeVillers, 401 St. Mary's Boulevard, Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I just wanted to add that fence, if we get an outdoor storage user, most of the storage users right now just have some delivery vans and things of that nature. But we are going to have a fence on the north side of the building, covering the dock area. There's one there right now it needs to be removed, but we're going to put a slotted fence right there. So you will have some fencing that'll go in right away.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay, any other questions or concerns? Okay, I'll entertain a motion then.
I'd move to approve with conditions as stated here and given the concerns we've had addressed.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the requested site plan for 2600 South Ashland Avenue. Any more comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 7, department reports.
We unfortunately received Eric Bauman's resignation letter. So one of our 2 senior building inspectors, to his credit, he's going to help out at home quite a bit, work with their family business, and help out his father-in-law with some plowing and driving truck. So I give Eric a lot of credit. I thank him for all the service to the village over the years. He's been a great employee and an even better friend. So he'll be missed, but we are in the process of recruiting for a new senior building inspector with the plumbing credentials, commercial plumbing. So if you know anyone who's interested, by all means, have them look at our website, applications there.
Okay. Items for next agenda. Do we have any?
We do. Received submittals for a new Quick Trip at the corner of 172 and South Point Road, as well as the addition of a patio to the north side of Parker John's Barbecue on South Oneida Street.
Okay, so we will have a meeting on the 15th. Okay? Anything else for next agenda? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn, please.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
This conference is no longer being recorded.